Everyone, welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name is Alex, and today I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know about bridges, how to train them, what the different techniques are, what the correct alignment and technique is as well. First things first, a bridge consists of more than just back flexibility. So of course you have the flexibility in your lumbar spine, which is here. So it is everything you have underneath your ribs and all the way down your lumbar spine and also your cervical spine, which is your neck. They are the most movable parts of your spine. For a bridge, you don't need that much neck flexibility, so we're not going to be talking that much about that. So you obviously need a flexible back, but there are other things you need as well. One, you need flexible shoulders. So you need to have really nice open shoulders to be able to reach really far back. You also need quite flexible wrists. So if your wrists are really inflexible, you will actually have to work on that as well. And then last but not least, and something that a lot of people don't realize, is that you need a lot of hip flexor flexibility. So my hip flexors are here, just because in a bridge we're going to be opening a lot through here. So we need to really make sure that these are quite flexible as well. Here you can see an example of a bridge where the back flexibility is good, but the shoulder flexibility is not great. Here you can see an example of a bridge where the shoulder flexibility is very good, but the back flexibility and hip flexor flexibility could be better. There are of course different shapes to a bridge, but the one you're seeing now is the most common one and the one we will be wanting to aim for as our first shape. So now I'm going to give you one exercise for each part of the body you need to be working on to get a bridge. If you want to follow along routine, I have also made one so you can find it here. Otherwise, here is the first exercise. This is an exercise for your shoulders. I'm on my knees, making sure I have a little bit of space between my knees. I'm then going to be placing my hands on the wall. The higher your hands are on the wall, the easier it is. And then from here, I'm going to be arching through my back. And then I'm going to be pushing my shoulders as much as I can into the wall. If this is too easy for you, you're going to be sliding your hands down, or you can be using a block underneath your fingers. And you just want to make sure that your arms are super straight the whole time, pushing the chest into the wall as much as you can. The next exercise is an exercise for our back. So you want to make sure that we're stretching not only this very lower part here, but we're also stretching our mid back, or some people in flexibility call it upper back. So I'm down on the ground, a little bit of space between my feet, and I'm going to be straightening my arms out in front of me, and then I'm going to be using the friction I get from the floor to pull my arms in slowly. I'm pulling my shoulders back as far as I can, and I'm going to be only coming up to my elbows. I want to be thinking about squeezing my glutes, and I'm going to be thinking about lifting my ribs up. So I don't want to be arching, coming up all the way here. I make sure that my whole stomach is down on the ground and I'm only lifting up my ribs. Pulling back with the shoulders, and you should feel it stretch in your middle and your upper back. So you can be doing this 2 to 3 times, holding for 30 seconds. That's really making sure we're pulling the shoulders back. Our next one is very similar, so it's a cobra. We're going to be stretching everything here now. Always want to make sure that I'm squeezing my butt when I stretch my back. We're starting the same way. My arms are outstretched in front of me, and I'm going to be pulling my hands towards my hips. I want to make sure that I'm squeezing my butt and that my hips remain down on the ground. And from here, we're going to be coming up as high as you can, squeezing your butt, squeezing all your muscles in your back, shoulders back, and I'm going to be lifting my chest up to the ceiling. So I'm not only arching through here, but I'm trying to get a beautiful arch through my upper back. So I'm lifting my chest up to the ceiling, looking back with the head. And you can be doing this 2 to 5 times, holding for 10 to 30 seconds. Just always making sure that when you're in that position, you're squeezing your glutes and you're squeezing all the muscles in your back. The next exercise is an exercise for hip flexors, and I would probably recommend having something underneath your back knee because it's a little bit painful to do it without anything. So I'm starting here, and I'm going to be coming down into a super deep lunge. So I'm pushing my hips down to the ground as much as I can, making sure that my front foot is in front of my knee. And then from here, I'm going to be lifting up my back leg. And if you can hold, you're going to be holding onto your leg. If you can't quite hold, you can get like a strap or whatever you need to be able to reach your leg. And I'm going to be actively squeezing my glutes and pushing my hips down to the ground. You should feel it stretch really nicely here. And last but not least, I'm going to really quickly talk about what are the things you want to be thinking when you're doing your bridge. So when you're in your bridge, you want to be thinking that you're expanding. So it's as if you're in a little bubble. You're in this half a bubble, and you really want to make sure that every single part of your body is touching the walls of that bubble. So you really want to be opening and expanding as much as you can, just because that takes a little bit of the pressure off our back. You always want to make sure that you're squeezing your glutes in your bridge and that you're trying to push your chest over your hands. When you're starting your stretching journey, you might not be able to do a bridge, and that's perfectly fine. You can do that beginner follow along video where I give you exercises you can do to stretch your back and stretch your shoulders without having to do the bridge. Once you're ready for the bridge, here are 3 ways of progressing into it. So we're going to be starting with our half bridge. So I'm down here, I'm going to be pushing through my heels, lifting my hips up as high as I can. I'm then going to be placing my hands underneath my back, and I want to be making sure that I'm pushing up as much as I can. If you're comfortable here, you're going to be going to the next part. So I'm going to be doing a bridge up to my head. So my fingers are pointing towards my shoulders, and from here I'm going to be lifting everything up at the same time, coming up to my head. And we want to be making sure that I'm pushing through my arms the whole time, so I'm not just like resting on my head here, because that's not very great for our neck. So I'm here, and once you're comfortable here, you're going to be working on pushing through your arms and lifting up higher and higher. So if this is how your bridge looks at the beginning, that's fine. As you get more flexible, you will be able to push through your arms and push through your legs and come into a full bridge. Ta-da! So this was all I had for us today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more tips for your bridges, I have also posted some videos on my Instagram. Or if you have any ideas to videos you would want me to film, please let me know. See you next time.